people aren't demanding that President Zelensky, who, we're on his side, we've talked about that, President Zelensky should be careful with his targeting when he's attacking targets in Donbass and Crimea and so on, and touching, and they hit a civilian target. No, not the Ukrainians. People don't seem to care too much about the absolute brutality that is going on in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Huge numbers of people have been killed in the DRC, particularly in the western part of the DRC, eastern part of the DRC. Huge numbers of people, but nobody cares about that. All they care about is the Israelis attacking the Palestinians. And this goes to exactly what you're saying. I hadn't realized it was still so deep, that anti-Semitism runs very deep in all our societies. Huge onus is put on Jewish people. And in this particular case, on the Israelis, huge pressure is being put on them. And I like the way the media say Netanyahu and his coalition are being put under increasing pressure by the West. I do know that their reaction to that is, I don't really care what the West says, and I don't really care what they think. They don't like Jews, and we're going to fight for our survival. Because you're quite right. I mean, it's not just the Nazis and the Holocaust, although it is significantly that. But remember, in the year 1900, what was the biggest Jewish city, or what city had the biggest Jewish population in the world? It was Baghdad. They were all expelled from Iraq. What about Alexandria? There was a huge Jewish community in Alexandria. Nasser just expelled them all. I mean, the Jews are pretty used to being expelled. I mean, in Gaza, when Ariel Sharon in 2005 withdrew Israeli occupation, to use the word that the left like to use, it withdrew Israeli occupation and the Israeli Defense Force from Gaza. They also forced some Jewish settlers out of Gaza. I mean, why didn't the Hamas and Al-Fatah people say at that time, oh, actually, it's fine for the Jewish people to live in Gaza. We don't have a problem with that. They'd be welcome to continue to live there. They have identity with the land and so on. So why wouldn't you let them live there? Well, apparently not. Apparently, Ariel Sharon had to drive them all out because the Palestinians wouldn't allow any Jews to continue to settle within what they see as their territory. So they have a no Jews policy. And of course, they want to destroy the whole of Israel, Hamas do, and Hezbollah. They want to destroy the whole of Israel and have a no Jews policy anywhere. So there are 9 million people in Israel. I think about 20% of them are Arabs. So a bit over 7, just to in a moment do my maths, it's a bit over 7 million Jews in Israel. Where would those 7 million go if the chant from the river to the sea turned into a reality? They wouldn't be welcome in Palestine. You could be 100% sure of that. They weren't welcome in Iraq. They weren't welcome in Egypt. They weren't welcome in Gaza. They're not welcome in the West Bank. They're not welcome, full stop. They're not welcome. And so where would the 7 million go? Well, these people say they should go to Europe, although a lot of them are not remotely European. A lot of Jews come from Morocco, and they come from, as I've just been saying, from Iraq and Egypt and so on. And they couldn't go back to those places because they've already been driven out of them. So I'm hugely supportive of Israel, and the Jews have just got to knuckle down and fight, and we've got to support them.